this is sort of a ring light I'm working on for my JVC camera. It does say 3D, and really it's not 3D, you just film normally, and it has a display that can, if you select the buttons, show, well, simulated 3-dimensional. I never use the 3D option on this camera. But this is the camera I mainly use for doing videos, HD, 1020p, whatever. There's some information. You know, they're pushing for 3D when it's not really 3D, in my opinion. It's just simulated 3D. I think like on was it Nintendo did a 3D sort of display thing. Got quite a good lens on it, with a shutter that comes open when you open the visor, the display, and you can turn the display around. Lots of settings on it. You can do like manual settings or automatic. So this is basically for this to go on my tripod, which is like a fluid head tripod. It's not, I don't think it's a proper fluid head, it more uses friction, but it's a budget fluid head. I'll put some details about the tripod here. Hope this is displaying alright. It seems to be flickering when I'm looking in the display. I'm using my old camera to do this because I'm showing you this camera. So this is to go on the tripod. One of these pin things, which I've took out another. I think you can buy these pin things separate. To watch that this is going in. It's basically that will lock on there. But there's like a, well, a dovetail here, that this dovetail will go in, and there's a bolt on there, 3mm bolt to screw in, and that just presses against this dovetail when it's on there, so that won't come off. That slots in there very nicely. And then I'll show you how bright this is. Pretty bright. Some of the LEDs in here have gone out a bit. You might notice, I don't know how well this has been knocked about quite a bit. So this is a 12, this is all off 12 volts coming in here, and there's a 12 volt sort of car light, LED light, 2 of them either side, and this ring light which also works off 12 volts, but I think it has this boost converter here on the back. So 12 volt goes in, don't ask me what voltage comes out, probably about 40 odd. And the switch, this is all like hot glued and super glued on here. But that fits in my tripod, and I'll show you that just now. I'll bolt this up tighter, and then I'll put it on the tripod with this camera. See, this sort of basically goes over the lens, and I can get in there. I think that's going in, yes. That's partly why it's got these plastic sort of bits on here to stop it moving sideways, even with that peg. Those pegs tend to be loose. See, that's loose a bit because I haven't tightened up the bolt. But you see, that's like a camera ring. I'll turn it on, so watch your eyes. And it doesn't sort of cover over the lens or the microphones, in this case JVC. I'll put some details about this JVC here, but it probably fit almost any camera, I imagine, just about, with a flow, well, one of these budget fluid heads like I've got. So I'll put this actually on the camera, on the tripod I mean, and we'll see how it looks. So this is my fluid head thing. It's been knocked about a bit. I've been hacking at it and doing various things to it, so that's why it's a bit beaten up. But there's a make. I'm using a ring light with this Kodak camera at the moment. Actually the lens is above the opening, but it seems to work okay. And this is like a quick release plate that sort of slots in there, locks on, and that's part of the printout, to have that sort of plate. Just showing you the float head. As I say, I believe these work by friction, by number of plates here. It's quite smooth. Oops, my tripod is actually more jerky than the float head. Just a budget float head. So if you're looking for budget float heads, you know, don't expect miracles out of these. As I say, I think the more use friction. Friction is adjustable to a certain extent by turning this knob, which I've added to because it was very hard to turn. Still hard to turn, but a lot easier like this with some super glue and baking powder and such like, and paper to make the knob a bit bigger to turn. It has a wedge thing that goes in and out there too. And it has this panning thing and this sort of tilt and lock. So it's not too bad a head, just on a dead cheap tripod. Star, can hardly read it. I think is it 61? It's a Star, what's known as a Star tripod. This whole head can come off here. I'm not going to unscrew it now, but that whole head came off, and I think I put a 1/4 inch number 20 bolt in there, or threaded rod, and screwed this onto it. Yeah, well that's basically about this ring light. That's what I'm talking about, not the tripod so to speak, but just wanted to show you what I'm talking about when I say fluid head. There's a quick release, so when you put the thing in, it presses that button there, and that knocks the lever. You have to mind your fingers sometimes. That's it. So when that goes in like that, that part presses on that button, lever clicks on, then you can push it a bit more and that locks this head on. And if you've got this screwed to various, imagine you can get these separate and have various cameras on each one, so you can bring in a new camera, lock it on, take that camera off, put a different camera on with a different, or a flash gun if you wanted, or whatever. Yep, pretty good for budget. If you're on a tight budget and you're not a professional. I'll just show you that it does go on when you're out the way a bit. Don't want the wire getting in. See how it clips over. Sorry about the shadows there. And you can press a bit more to make sure, and that's on there very secure. So this is like the tripod plate. I'll put a tripod plate up on Thingiverse along with the whole unit, so to speak. So that's how it looks on the tripod. Watch your eyes. It's always bright to look at LEDs, very bright to look at them. Maybe not so bright to shine on stuff. Let's turn this on and off, on and off. I do have another big LED shining. Let's turn that off. So just this light and daylight coming through the window, on and off obviously. So that's a look at this tripod ring mount.